Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
Right now, 13 people killed, dozens more injured after a terror suspect in a van plows through a crowded plaza in Barcelona. We have brand new information that's just into the newsroom.
But we're going to start back here at home with concerns about severe weather, and take a good look there. That's a very active 4 Live radar.
Yeah, we've already seen several waves of rain move through, but so far, no storms just yet. Let's give it to Ben. Hopefully it stays that way, Ben.
Yeah, Kim and Jason, it's worked out well for us. We've gotten much needed rain without any severe weather, but we're still under the gun, at least for the next few hours. Some good news out of this. The severe risk, at least the marginal part, has been pared back a little bit. So parts of our west and south zone have been downgraded from a marginal to or from a slight to a marginal risk, and the rest of us remain in this category 2 slight risk, which is the yellow shade, especially for the east side locations, Metro North and parts of our south zone. Here's a look at 4 Live radar currently. The morning stuff and the early afternoon rain are gone, except for a couple showers in Sanilac County. But over this area that was enshrouded with clouds for most of the day, now we're seeing the sun come out, and that is going to destabilize the air, start rising those temperatures. There's definitely plenty of humidity out there to work with. So if this instability is able to fire up thunderstorms, we're going to keep the severe threat around at least for about the next 3 to 4 hours. So watch particularly between now and about 8 or 9 o'clock. Temperatures rebounding into the low 80s, then falling into a humid night tonight. But once we get past sunset, that severe threat will pretty much be ending. We'll talk more about timing of these storms and what's to come for the weekend straight ahead. Guys?
Breaking right now in Barcelona, Spain, a terror attack in a crowded plaza popular with tourists. And we have brand new information since we last updated this story.
Yeah, let's get you caught up. Spanish police now say at least 13 people have died. And now we're hearing as many as 100 people have been injured after a man in a van jumped a curb and plowed into pedestrians in a busy plaza. Now we're hearing police have made some arrests in this case as well. Chris Clackham following it all for us tonight.
The attack happened in Barcelona's Las Ramblas district, a busy tourist area. A van plowed into a crowd of people, creating what witnesses described as a chaotic scene.
There was police everywhere, ambulances, fire engines, like bomb disposal squads and stuff.
Police and emergency services rushed to the area and people ran away in a panic. Police cordoned off the area and shut down stores. One witness says she stopped into a restaurant on the same street just minutes before the attack.
Blocked it like 6 minutes prior, not even. I just ran in. I was going to go catch a cab to visit a friend, and I ran in to use the restroom, and as I was running out, I couldn't get out. So it was a span of like 4 minutes.
This is the latest in a string of terror-related car attacks in Europe. Chris Clackham, Local 4.
We will continue to monitor any new developments from Barcelona over this next 90 minutes of news, and we will bring them to you as they come in. Kim?
Meanwhile, President Trump is using Twitter to condemn the Barcelona attack, saying the U.S. condemns the attack in Barcelona and will do whatever is necessary to help. But it's what he tweeted earlier in the day that's spurring more criticism amid his comments about the tragedy in Charlottesville. Blaine Alexander is following that story for us from Washington tonight. Blaine?
Well, Kimberly, I'm standing just outside of Capitol Hill's famed Statuary Hall. Each state gets to choose 2 revered citizens to be honored with a statue here and around the Capitol. Well, at least 10 of those statues are of Confederate leaders, and they're now part of a growing national debate. What became a deadly showdown in the streets of Charlottesville started as a protest over this statue of General Robert E. Lee, now the center of a national debate over the removal of Confederate monuments and memorials. Lexington, Kentucky, now bracing for protests over the removal of 2 statues.
They stand up here taller than any of the names of the people whose lives were ripped apart here, and that's not right. For many, symbols of racial hatred and the ugliest times in America's history. Today, President Trump praising the beauty of those statues in a series of tweets.
Sad to see the history and culture of our great country being ripped apart. You can't change history, but you can learn from it. Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson, who's next? Washington, Jefferson, so foolish. Adding, the beauty that is being taken out of our cities, towns, and parks will be greatly missed. But this reaction from Robert E. Lee's own great-grandson.
It's up to the people. If they want to take it down, take it down. I have no problems with it.
Not everyone agrees.
I'm not sure that just removing every historical marker in America that heals. That doesn't heal, and I think that's a mistake to focus on those.
The debate is not a new one, but the Charlottesville violence and the president's response now elevating it to a new level.
And we're now hearing from the mayor of Phoenix after President Trump announced plans for a rally there next week. He said that with wounds still raw after Charlottesville, he hopes the president will reconsider and postpone his visit. In Washington, Blaine Alexander, Local 4.
Okay, Blaine, and this information just into the newsroom. Michigan State University has denied a request from a white supremacist group to hold an event on campus. The group is led by Richard Spencer, who was set to be a keynote speaker in Charlottesville before the violence broke out. Earlier this week, the University of Florida also refused to allow Spencer to deliver a speech on campus, citing a likelihood of violence.
Now to a critical decision for white boy Rick. He can start packing his bags and prepare for a long road trip to a Florida prison. That's after a court decision cleared him to be turned over to the Florida Department of Corrections. Defender Kevin Dietz is following these brand new developments.
The hearing lasted only about 5 minutes. Rick Wershe had the option of fighting Florida's authority to take him into custody or to waive extradition. Rick Wershe took a rare trip outside of the prison walls of the Oaks Correctional Facility Wednesday. He did not go far. Taken to the county courthouse, where in front of a judge, he waived extradition. Wershe says he pleaded guilty to participating in a car theft ring in Florida in order to spare his sister and mother from being charged. Now it's time to serve the remainder of his sentence.
You don't know what's in store. It doesn't really scare me. It's, you have your thoughts and, what it's going to be like.
It's not clear how much time Wershe will serve. He was just given this document showing he's being awarded 40 days of good time. His out date is listed as pending. If Wershe serves all his time, it could be a little more than 2.5 years, but he will also be eligible to ask for early release through clemency in as little as a few months. Wershe says he will stay positive and do everything he can to gain early release.
I have to deal with it, and whatever it is, that's what I'm going to do.
Wershe was the longest nonviolent juvenile offender in the history of Michigan. He was arrested at 17 and is still in Michigan custody today at the age of 48. In a few days, he will end that record-setting sentence when he gets into a prison van and heads to Florida. Kevin Dietz, Defenders.
This morning, state police swarmed a Dearborn Medical Clinic.
A short time later, the doctor who works there, Dr. Mohammed Durrani, had his medical license suspended. It comes as the Attorney General says Durrani was using the office as an opioid distribution center. Rod Maloney has more.
Michigan State Police conducted 2 simultaneous raids. The first one here at the alleged pill mill, and then the second one was at the doctor's home in West Bloomfield. Michigan State Police say records show 500,000 pills, mostly oxycodone, prescribed here since January 1st, and half that number likely wound up sold on the street. So police swooped into the Dearborn Medical Clinic, full waiting room and all, and after arresting the doctor and office manager, officers cut zip ties off the wrists of detained patients whom they set free. But this doesn't show the intolerable chaos residents endured here. For a better idea, here is video shot by community Instagram service at the city of Dearborn. Patients lined up outside the clinic waiting their turn. Both MSP spokesperson Lieutenant Mike Shaw and Dearborn Police Chief Ronald Haddad commented.
The disruption was people coming at all hours of the night, parking, eating, relieving themselves on people's lawns, making noise.
Sitting in chairs. They actually ordered food in to come into this place. When we actually hit the door, there's people out here smoking marijuana right in the doorway as our officers hit the place.
But to give you an idea of the bedlam out here over the last month or so, the signs here say if you sign a sheet trying to get in to see the doctor and it's not a manager's, they're going to throw it out. But the real telling one is this one: no bribing the employees. Patient Brian Holt was inside when the raid happened.
As far as the doctor going to jail, that doesn't really affect me other than the fact that I don't have my medication now.
Now, Brian wasn't arrested. He was released after questioning, says he knows nothing about the pill mill. In the meantime, up in West Bloomfield, when the MSP went and raided the doctor's house, they tell me that they were able to get a lot of cash and also a lot of prescription pads that they seized as part of the raid. Back to you.
So, Rod, was he just handing out the medication at the office there?
No, the doctor was not just handing it out. He would sign a prescription slip, so the police say, and then give it to people, and then they would go and get their prescriptions filled. But the belief is that half of the pills that were given over this year have probably wound up sold on the street.
Unbelievable. Okay, Rod, thanks.
Court was back in session today for day 2 of the preliminary exam in the murder and dismembering of 19-year-old Stephen McAfee. And it wasn't long until the questioning got heated.
At approximately 11 o'clock that morning, were to cover up the continued questioning of Andrew.
This is ridiculous. It has nothing to do with the question that he asked to the detective.
You sit down till I'm done talking.
Whoa. Since when are you boss here? Sit down. What are you, father?
Guess what? I'm the boss. The court has now requested more time to review the police interrogation of 19-year-old Andrew Fiacco, who is charged with first-degree murder. We're hoping to get word on when the hearing will resume sometime next week.
Thousands in Plymouth are still without power as DTE crews work around the clock to fix what a massive fire left behind. The fire at the substation near Farmer and Theodore left the entire city of Plymouth in the dark Wednesday night. DTE Energy says they hope to have all power restored by midnight tonight. The company is giving away bottled water and ice to residents in need at the Cultural Center parking lot near Farmer and Sheldon.
That was scary for those folks. Yeah. We are underway on a Thursday edition of The 5.
So much more ahead in the next hour, including the city of Ann Arbor considering a pretty drastic proposal that could make some drivers none too pleased. And Aretha Franklin's got some big plans for downtown Detroit. We'll have that too. Sean?
A neighborhood in Troy on high alert after what a driver did from behind the wheel of his car.
Somewhat alarming that it's likely the same person doing this across a span of months in the same area.
And police believe he's done it before.
New at 6.
It was one of the biggest criminal cases of the 90s in Metro Detroit and the nation. Now the man who murdered his admirer after they appeared on the Jenny Jones show is about to go free. New at 6, the victim's brother explains why he's okay with that.
Plus a remarkable recovery. We catch up with a local teen who survived having a giant tree fall on him during a Boy Scout trip in another state.
Tonight, Troy police are actively searching for a man who exposed himself on 2 occasions to 2 women out on a walk.
It happened in the area of Glenwood and Kings Point roads. That's near Waddles and John R. Sean Lay is working this story for us tonight. Sean, police say this is awfully similar to another incident earlier in the summer.
And Kimberly, they very much believe this is the same guy who approached 2 10-year-old girls, exposing himself to those girls back in May. Tonight, the most recent victims from Sunday, they were out for a walk, speaking out to me tonight. And they say they are absolutely horrified and worried about what could happen next.
I did see the police just here this past Sunday.
Troy police in a quiet Troy subdivision investigating an incredibly disturbing event. Alexis Kerr lives here.
Yeah, I have not myself personally seen a flasher. I mean, that incident would be really scary.
Not just a flasher, but a man who asked 2 women out for a walk on Sunday for directions. One of the women says it was all a plan for the man to aggressively expose himself to her.
He was exposing himself in a very vulgar way. This would be very traumatizing for children, and we are concerned his next step could be acting out to a greater degree against women or children if he's not caught.
The other woman tells me, quote, "It is disheartening to have experienced such sick behavior in my own neighborhood." There's more. Police believe he's done it before to 2 10-year-old girls.
It's somewhat alarming that it's likely the same person doing this across a span of months in the same area.
The concern here is, will he ramp up acting out in a criminal and sexual way?
Typically, what they do is just what happened. It doesn't typically escalate, but we want people to be cautious if they're approached.
Both victims want the man to be caught before he acts out again to someone else. Alexis Kerr says in the meantime, it's all about getting the word out.
You just have to be really aware, very much consciously aware of your surroundings and what's going on.
Both victims telling me tonight they got a very good look at this guy. They believe he is from Indian descent, 20 to 30 years old, so a relatively young guy, had dark-rimmed glasses on. Not sunglasses, but dark-rimmed glasses. Important here was driving a white, sporty-type American car, may have had 2 doors. Kimberly, police tell me tonight that they very much want to get this guy. If he approaches anyone again, they're going to encourage people to get his license plate. Back to you.
Sure. Did anybody say that he looked familiar, Sean?
No, but there's a pattern here. John R. runs right through here. The first incident back in May happened exactly a mile north of there. This one happened a mile south, right into that subdivision, so there could be a pattern developing here.
Yeah, again, if you see anything suspicious, let police know. Sean, we appreciate it.
The Queen of Soul is returning home. Tonight, Aretha Franklin says she plans to move back to the city of Detroit. In an interview, the 75-year-old says she's looking to move out of her Bloomfield home and come back to Detroit, so she's not far. She is also planning to open a nightclub in the city where she will occasionally perform.
That sounds fantastic. Would like
fun.
that. Yeah. Well, we appreciate you conjuring up some rain for us. At least my lawn appreciates it, I know. But
some of us don't want to mow the lawn.
Well,
is that what you're worried about now?
Some of us had a nice break here just watching it not grow.
Like be all crispy?
Yeah, at least it's growing in some places. But we're still not out of the woods as far as severe weather goes. And you can see how much of the area at least got something today. The blue shaded areas are under an inch of rain. The big winners, though, were down here in the southern part of the area in Lenawee and Monroe County, where the radar estimated anywhere from about a ½ inch to over 2 inches of rain fell down here near the Ohio state line from earlier today. There are a couple pockets up here closer to 94 and into the city where we may have picked up upwards of an inch of rain, but we possibly could be seeing more. Temperatures have started to go back up now that the clouds have started to thin out. We're at 79 at Metro. We're seeing the low 80s out here in Howell and Ann Arbor. Adrian, Jackson at 82, Lansing already at 84 degrees. And we may see these numbers tick upwards just a little bit more before we plateau and start heading down for the night. But man, those humidity levels are high. Dew point at 76 right now in Mount Clemens. Anything over 70 is tropical feeling, and we've got that across the entire area this afternoon and evening. You can already see the breaks in the clouds that have started to appear here in southern portions of Michigan, and that is not necessarily good for us because the more sunshine we see, the more unstable the air becomes, and the possibility that we could be seeing thunderstorms form, especially in some of those areas where the skies have cleared out. However, the window is pretty slim because as soon as this cold front slices through tonight, that's going to pretty much end our storm threat. So really between now and about 9 o'clock is really the only time we're worried about. Beyond that, we'll be dry tonight. Friday, there will be possibly a sprinkle around, but generally it's just going to be a lot of clouds, breezy conditions, and some definitely cooler air. Saturday, a better chance of showers and storms as we head into the afternoon hours, but nothing severe on Saturday. 69 tonight for the overnight low. It is still going to be humid overnight tonight, and high temperatures is going to feel a whole lot different because that humidity is going to continue going down through the day tomorrow. So we're going to be only to a high of the upper 70s. Here as we get into tomorrow afternoon in our metro zone. South zone temperatures mid-70s for high temperatures, and west zone numbers not far behind. 73 in Howell, 73 in Brighton, 76 out here in Novi and Canton. And our cool spot will be in our north zone, low to mid-70s for high temperatures tomorrow. And again, lower humidity as well. Numbers come back up for the weekend after those thunder showers late Saturday. We're going to mostly sunny skies on Sunday. And that is going to continue for the eclipse on Monday. High temperatures at 88 degrees. And of course, we're going to have live broadcast from the point of greatest eclipse. That's going to be down in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. A new update from the mayor of Eclipseville down there. She says they're expecting 125,000 people in that town on Monday afternoon.
What's their population even? It can't be about 10.
About a quarter of that? Yeah, it's
really,
very small.
It's
By the way,
bonkers.
I have heard from a lot of folks who haven't been able to get glasses. Don't worry, because you can see it right here on Local 4 if you can't get outside.
That's great, because no need to risk it if you don't have them, trying to get out there and sneak a peek. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Here's Dr. McGeorge. Hi, Doc.
Hey, Jason and Kimberly. Well, there's a new warning about local cases of hepatitis A. Coming up, how the hepatitis A virus is spread and who should consider getting vaccinated against it.
But first, a police chase through Michigan streets turns deadly. That story and more next. A police chase turns deadly in West Michigan when an innocent driver is hit and killed. It happened just before noon in Norton Shores. Investigators say officers were pursuing a suspect wanted for stealing from a Meijer. Moments after they cut off their chase, the suspect hit a car with 2 people inside. The driver was killed and the passenger suffered injuries and was taken to the hospital. A suspect wanted for the Meijer theft was also driving a stolen car.
Ford is paying millions of dollars to settle sexual and racial harassment allegations. The allegations were made by workers at 2 Chicago area plants where Ford employs more than 5,000 people. Ford will pay a little more than $10 million to settle these suits. Ford did not say what happened or how many employees were subjected to the harassment, but did say that all workers who received settlements began work at the plants after January of 2010.
Well, no, you didn't win last night's Powerball drawing. You did not.
We did not.
But the good news is that nobody else did either.
Yeah, we're still here, aren't we? Of course we didn't win. The jackpot has grown to an estimated $510 million with a cash option of $324 million. That's the 5th largest Powerball jackpot in history. The next drawing is Saturday night. And as always, we'll have the winning numbers right here on Local 4 News and tear up our tickets shortly after.
New at 5:30.
A horrifying discovery in a quiet cemetery.
What somebody would do to someone's loved one, the disrespect is, they've already buried him, put him to rest.
What happened inside Little Caesars Arena that had the construction workers cheering? Woo! If you thought the excitement level for this new place was high, just wait till you see this video.
I'm not trying to give it away, but we're kind of giving it away here. The city of Ann Arbor looking to make some big changes. We'll tell you what those numbers could say.
Next week.
The city of Ann Arbor considering a very drastic change. It's aimed at keeping the streets safer, but it might make drivers furious. They want to make the speed limit 25 miles an hour across the board.
In fact, last night a committee was created to look at the speed limits there in the city, and that big change is now on the table. As Nick Monticelli reports tonight, they're not just looking at just a couple of streets either.
Good evening. We're here along Main Street in Ann Arbor, which is one of their busiest, if not the busiest streets here in the city. And the city is now considering doing something about it. They formed a new committee. It happened last night. They want to change the speed limit, not on some roads, on all roads. But why? It is a fact of life. Live in a city and you're going to have traffic. But it's the speed at which that traffic is moving that has the city of Ann Arbor and many residents concerned.
And so you can see cars come barreling down. It's really kind of a main thoroughfare to get through the town effectively because there's only that one stoplight and then they can come barreling down here.
David Krause works out of his home, and every single day he says speed is a problem.
Just about every day I hear a screech of tires. There haven't been that many real accidents, but a lot of near misses.
So to avoid those near misses, the city is looking at limiting the speed limit. Last night, the city's Transportation Commission made a speed reduction committee, which will look at reducing the speed limit to 25 miles per hour on all city-owned streets. Thought is it will make the street safer for drivers and pedestrians. But what do the residents think about it?
No, not 25.
I don't think that's a good idea at all.
There are a number of streets for which that makes no sense.
What does and does not make sense is for the committee to figure out. They'll take the next few months researching to see if changing the speed limit will really enhance safety and which roads to change, if any. The next question is, will changing the speed limit change driver habits?
They're going to go as fast as they want.
In Ann Arbor, Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
We should point out before any changes are actually made, there have to be recommendations, and then City Council has to approve those new speed limits as well. We continue now to follow the very latest developments from today's terror attack in Barcelona. ISIS now claiming responsibility after a van jumped a curb and slammed into people walking along a busy street, killing 13 people, leaving 100 others injured. 2 suspects have been taken into custody, but neither person is believed to be the driver. Right now, the Spanish government fearing the death toll could rise because of the number of serious injuries. Of course, we're going to bring you any new information both on air and on clickondetroit.com. A U.S. Marshal recovering tonight after being involved in a crash on I-75 in southwest Detroit.
It happened around 8 a.m. this morning on the northbound lanes near the Rouge River Bridge. The accident had traffic down to 1 lane in that area. The marshal is expected to be okay. The cause of that crash now under investigation. Police in Detroit searching for an armed man who shot another man at a candlelight vigil overnight on the city's east side. It happened off Runyon in the area of 7 Mile and Hoover. Witnesses say the 2 men got into an argument that led up to the gunfire. The victim was shot twice. The suspect fled the scene in a burgundy 4-door vehicle. The victim was transported to a nearby hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
We are hoping to learn more tonight about the woman who was found dead in the middle of the street in southwest Detroit. Police say it happened just before 1:30 this morning. A woman in her 30s was found dead. This was in the middle of the street at Junction and Fort. We're also told hypodermic needles were found around her body. Police believe the victim may have been run over. Details right now are pretty limited, but police say their investigation continues.
A little busy there on the radar today. We welcome back Ben to tell us what we have in store the rest of the night.
Well, up until this point, it's been all good news. We've gotten the rain without the storms, or at least the severe stuff. We may not be so lucky for the next few, and 4 Live radar shows that even though we've cleared out in just about all locations, in some of those spots where the sun came out first, showers starting to fire up again, and there's going to be more instability for these to work with, so it is still possible we could be seeing severe weather in a couple spots at least for the next few hours. But once we get past sunset, our severe threat looks like it will be over. Temperatures, even though they're going to be on the mild side, we still have very high humidity out there, so the storms remain possible again through about 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. Once we get past that point, we'll look for clouds to thin. Humidity is going to drop somewhat tonight, but really it's going to be the end of tomorrow before we notice a difference in that. We'll talk more about Friday and your weekend ahead in just minutes, guys.
All right, Ben. Amid tensions over North Korea's missile program, top U.S. military officer General Joseph Dunford continued his trip to China today.
General Dunford says President Trump ordered him and other military leaders to come up with viable military options, which was a topic of discussion as well with military counterparts in China today.
You and President Trump are committed to our improvement of military-to-military relations, and we have approached it with great commitment, candor, and we certainly want to deliver results.
The tension in the region has eased up, but there are still concerns, serious concerns it could boil over again as U.S. and South Korean military exercises are set to begin next June. Well, what began as a peaceful daily walk ends with a horrifying discovery for one woman in Ohio.
She says she was drawn to a cemetery because of the beautiful architecture, but what she saw is something she could have never imagined. She came to find out someone had broken into a mausoleum at the cemetery in Akron. What she found left her disturbed beyond belief.
We saw a suit, a tie. The tie was around his neck and it was hanging back in this direction right here. But the head was missing. The disrespect is, they've already buried him, put him to rest. And then they had to do it again.
Now police in Akron have opened an investigation to get to the bottom of who could do something like this. In good health, there have been several recent warnings of an increased number of hepatitis A cases, primarily in Wayne, Macomb, and Oakland counties.
And now Oakland County is issuing a new warning tonight. Dr. Frank McGeorge is here with what you need to know to protect yourself. Doc?
Well, Jason and Sandra, the advisory from the Oakland County Health Division reports 8 new cases of hepatitis A in the last week, primarily in the Farmington Hills area. Now, health officials, they have not identified a source yet, but in the meantime, here's what you really need to know about hepatitis A. At the CVS Minute Clinic in Wyandotte, the hepatitis A vaccine is available and patients are asking about it.
Some universities require it for college, but then we see it with outbreaks or just for our patients who want to make sure they're protected.
Hepatitis A is most commonly spread when the stool from an infected person contaminates food or water, or from close personal contact related to intimate encounters or IV drug use. In undeveloped countries, hepatitis A is so common that the majority of children have been infected and become immune by the time they're 10. However, in the United States, infection is less common and often occurs in small localized outbreaks. Now, most infections will cause fever, diarrhea, and liver inflammation producing jaundice, but usually improves on its own. However, in some cases, the infection can produce life-threatening liver failure. The CDC recommends that all children between ages 12 months and 23 months get the hepatitis A vaccine. It's also recommended for specific groups, including travelers, people with chronic liver disease, and anyone who uses illegal drugs. Unlike most vaccines, the hepatitis A vaccine can also be helpful after you've potentially been exposed, ideally within 2 weeks of exposure.
And get your vaccine. That's one of the biggest things to help protect yourself against it.
Yeah, getting vaccinated after a suspected exposure is really the biggest take-home message. Now, if anyone that you are in close contact with develops hepatitis A, you should get the vaccine. And if you are in a high-risk group, don't think twice. This is just a no-brainer to get the vaccine.
And it's easy.
I mean,
I did it.
Right.
I mean,
we did a whole story about it. Yeah.
Exactly, because of an exposure. Yeah.
Right. So important.
Took 10 minutes.
Thanks, Doc. Well, it is official now. Detroit will have its first ever organized and legal drag racing event. It was announced today at City Airport. Organizers say the Motor City Showdown brings more than just a fun event to the city.
We know currently every weekend, summer weekend in Detroit, and those who are watching this, they know we know, 300 to 500 street races in the city of Detroit. This goes beyond just building a drag strip eventually, but imagine young people having an opportunity to pursue a career in racing, engineering, designing race cars.
The event will be held at City Airport coming up on September 23rd.
It was a shocking sight for a school resource officer.
Coming up new tonight, what this mom was caught doing while waiting to pick up her child from school.
What happened inside Little Caesars Arena that had the construction workers cheering? If you thought the excitement level for this new place was high, just wait to see this video.
But first, 3 men under arrest for trying to make a very illegal delivery with a drone. That's coming up next.
New at 6.
After Charlottesville, this is one of the most sought-after signs in Metro Detroit. There's only one problem.
They put a sign in their yard, and now their neighbors or their family members are saying, well, where do I get one? How can I get one?
Live at 6, I'll show you how neighbors are working together to get their hands on these "Hate has no home here" signs.
Plus, desensitizing children to their peanut allergies. We know it can work, but how long does that effect last? Important new research at 6 in Good Health.
3 people have now been arrested for using a drone to drop drugs and a cell phone right into a Michigan prison. It happened at the Richard Hanlon Correctional Facility in Ionia. 2 officers heard the drone. It was around 4 this morning. It had dropped a package right into the prison yard and then later returned to drop off a second package. Staff notified police, who then tracked down 3 people near the prison suspected of flying that drone.
When Little Caesars Arena opens up, there will be a whole bunch of firsts. The first Red Wings goal, the first basket at a Pistons game. You can go on and on. But believe it or not, one of the most critical firsts at the new arena already happened. Jamie Edmonds has a look.
The question is, when is the torch passed from this old place to the new arena, LCA? Was it the Red Wings' final game here on April 9th? Or will it be on October 5th when the Red Wings open up the regular season here? I would argue the torch was passed today, right inside the new arena with little fanfare. Take a close look. This is video we received from one of the construction workers inside Little Caesars Arena today. This moment needed to be documented. That was the very first octopus to be thrown onto the ice. As Red Wings fans know, when an octopi falls, a man named Al Sabatka usually hears it and does what he does best. Today was no different. So it's officially official. This is the Red Wings' new home, and it's been christened. It's also the new home of the Pistons, and work continues to get ready. Excitement is growing with each milestone inside and outside, and passers-by marvel at the building and the city's progress.
And it's just amazing to see how it's changed since we've been here, and this whole axis of Woodward is now just a super avenue, lots of things to do, and so it's just great to be here.
Yeah, and that was a person, not a native Detroiter, but just someone who's moved here who could tell that the excitement is building because of that building. So it's christened. They're ready for the Red Wings. Pistons open up on the 18th, so I think the construction workers in there are going to have to figure out what to do for the Pistons. Maybe a basket? Jason, back to you.
I'm just thinking it's good that there was no fight. You know, we got to have the first fight as well. An octopus much safer, Jane.
Yeah, they didn't drop the gloves in there as far as I can tell.
Much safer. Awesome. Thanks, Jamie.